Welcome to video 4 of the Tidy Text Mining series. We now have this frequency by word across authors tibble, and now we're going to work on visualizing this. So I'm going to turn this into one single thing with a gather statement to where I have the Austen percent and the other author. So I'm taking the ones that are Bronte and Wells and putting them in against Austen by word. And this is now the frequency tibble. So now I can plot those two frequencies against each other. And what I can see now is a visual, and I can see that Bronte versus Austen, these are the words that are in common. Right? I see they're much more grouped along the line where they're the same percentage, whereas Wells and Austen are not grouped so much along the line where they're similar. So this tells me that Wells, from a visual perspective, Wells and Austen have less in common than the Bronte sisters and Austen, which is what I would suspect would be true just based on the type of authors they were. However, I could get a better picture of exactly how much in common the two are because I've got two columns of numerical data. So I should be able to do some sort of correlation test, right? So if I look at here, I took frequency with the author where it's equal to Bronte. And I'm comparing those. So now I've got Austen and proportion. So now I can do a correlation test of that data set of proportion against Austen. And I can find the correlation as 0.76. If I do the exact same thing, where I'm using Wells instead, I find a much smaller correlation, right? So this gives me some numerical quantification to how similar or how different these two authors are on their body of work. At this point, now I would like for you to pick 3 authors. Well, first off, I want you to go and repeat all of this analysis, but use all of the H.G. Wells and all of the Bronte works that are available on Gutenberg.org. Now you're going to need to use something like, let me show you this Gutenberg works. So if you use this, remember how I showed you we went to the bibliography page to find how they list H.G. Wells? Once you find that, you can do this and find all of the authors, all of the IDs. So you can go into this. This should allow you to save this as a tibble and pull out the Gutenberg IDs and make that your entry, but you want to pick only the ones that do not have an NA here. So this will exercise your dplyr skills a little bit to determine which of these you want to include in your list and then go after and get all of those works. So I'd like you to do that for all of H.G. Wells and compare that to all of the Bronte sisters' works and all of Jane Austen's works and see what your correlation coefficients become. Then I would like for you to pick 3 authors, whichever 3 you want from Gutenberger. I suggest you pick 2 that you think are going to be similar and a third that you're going to think is going to be different for some reason. You can pick 3 out of the same genre from different time periods or however you want to do it, and do the comparison of those 3 authors. And I would like to see both the correlation numbers and these word kind of graphs.